Will they come out to your car and make guacamole then?
Maybe, I hope so.
We just need to wait for Sam.
So, yeah.
So we are being recorded and we are streaming.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
It is 5:30 on the dot. Yay.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Can't start
Hey.
without our fearless leader.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Hmm.
I think we're all here. We're going to call this meeting to order.
Yes, please.
Okay, we are going to call this meeting of the Taos Academy Governing Council to order at promptly 5:30.
Right.
I am pulling up the agenda right now. And so I believe our next is item B, roll call. So can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. All right. Dean,
Here.
Laura,
Here.
Martin,
He's muted.
Sam,
Yes, here. Sorry.
Oh. Martin, you need to.
Sam,
I'm here too.
and
I'm
Karen.
here.
Here.
All right, we're good to go.
Okay, we have a quorum of the board present. Next is item C, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one, I'm blanking right now.
Under God.
Indivisible,
Indivisible.
with liberty and justice for all.
Oh my God, sorry. Thank you. Item D, approval of the agenda for our June 9th meeting. Is there anything? I looked, Tracy and I met about it. I think it looks good.
Nothing.
A
Okay.
motion to approve the agenda presented.
Second.
I'll second.
We have a
Oh.
motion in a second.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Who was first?
I think it was Karen.
Okay.
Oh, no,
I,
it was
Yeah.
I got Karen and Martin.
I
Is that
heard
right?
Karen. Okay.
Yep.
Second, yeah.
All right. Roll call. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Karen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, and then we have the approval of the minutes from last month's meeting. Any proposed changes?
Karen?
Huh.
Okay, seeing no issues, can we entertain a motion to approve the
Motion
minutes?
to approve.
I move we approve the minutes from last month.
All right.
Second.
Dean and Martin. All right. Roll call. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Karen. Karen?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we have action item, or, well, I guess this is technically an action item. We have governing council input. Discussion on GC role changes and terms. Tracy, do you want to talk about this one?
I can, just a second. It is in your, hold on. Oh, well, it's not letting me bring that up. Hold on a second. Sam, why don't you go ahead and let let Barbara speak. I ask because my hotspot stopped working, so I'm gonna have to reboot it. So if we could
Okay.
switch that, that'd be helpful.
No problem. I'd happily move to item or sub item B, where we talk to Barbara Forsberg. Hey, Barb. Oh, you are muted. Is it not letting you unmute? Are you on a Mac? Hit Apple D or Command D. Try that. There you go. Oh, hit it again. It just came off. Oh, it's toggles on and off. That's weird.
There,
Huh.
I got it.
Oh, there you go.
Yay.
Hi, Barb.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
I'm in a hotel room here at the Charter School conference. But if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourselves to the board and maybe giving them a little brief bit about yourself and why you'd like to be a board member.
Okay. My name is Barbara Forsberg, and I've lived in Taos for the last 37 years and started and owned a catering company since, 1990, I guess we started. And last year I retired, and I need somewhere to put my energy. So I was hoping that you guys might accept me to work with your group. And that's pretty much what I've done. My whole career has been as a caterer. I've had 30 people working in the summer, much less in the winter because it's Taos. And yeah, it was a great run, and I'm ready to move on. And you can ask me any questions you'd like.
Thank you, Barb. I'd just like to preface, I have chatted with Barb a little bit. She is aware that our governing council meets on the second Monday of each month at 5:30. And that attendance at our meetings is very important, whether it's physical or via Zoom, or but Google Meets. And she's also aware of the training requirements, and is not a problem. And so our board is interesting because we have like a consultant that comes in and does our training for us. It's like an immersive part of the of our meeting. However, for a new member, you'll have to do it through Canvas, which we can help you set up, but that is through the state, and it's 10 hours.
No problem.
Any
Great.
questions for Barb?
How
Barbara, it
did you
sounds
come?
like you've had business experience dealing with financial things and things. Have you had any experience with education at all?
Well, both of my kids went to school here in Taos. So, I mean, I was in the school system. My kids are 13 years apart. So I was in the school system for a very long time. And started with Taos Valley School, Anansi, the high school. Both kids actually, my youngest son went to Angel Fire High School, but my oldest went to Taos High School. So no, I am not technically a school person, but I worked within the system as a mother for a long time.
So do you live in Angel Fire?
No, I live in El Salto.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I
And
was
then
just
from-
gonna say, you probably know about Taos Academy just from being around Taos, and given that it's what, a 15th year, 16th year now.
Oh, yeah, I know Karen really well because she was teaching all through. I've known Karen since I had my youngest son, who's 34.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I know all about Taos Charter. And Cal Van Willigan, one of your teachers, he has not been best friends with my youngest son since he was born. So I've had more immersion just listening to him in the last few years. It's been really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Barb, do you think it's fair to say, because most of what we do, the governing board per statute has a few jobs, right?
Mhm.
We are, Tracy is our one employee. She manages the school and
Mhm.
all the employees, those are her responsibility.
Mhm.
But we are also, what we've talked about a little before, we are considered a board of finance.
Mhm.
And so we approve the budget, which is something we'll actually do tonight.
Mhm.
And we review and oversee the financials of the school on a monthly basis. And so a lot of what we do is financial. And so I'm just thinking, as a business owner, you've probably are familiar with the process of being audited,
Mhm.
checking monthly books, things like that.
Mhm. I certainly am. And
Okay.
I was originally interested and spoke with Deanna about being on the audit committee because it's right up my alley. So I enjoy the numbers and I had to be on top of them all the time.
Well, thank you for that, Barb. Are there any other questions for Barb before we move on?
Not from me.
No, I think it's from the, I think the main computer has to mute itself.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Barb. You are more than welcome to stay, or you are free to enjoy your night. But we will be approving our budget tonight if that's something you'd like to watch. And then Tracy and I will be in touch, probably within the next few days
Mhm.
on how to move forward. And
That
thank you
would
so
be-
much for being here.
You bet. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Okay, it looks like Tracy has action item, I think was that A or sub A up on our screen now.
Awesome. So you guys are seeing the governing council. Oh yeah, now I see it too. Very good. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, so the governing council terms, you guys have seen this before, but Sam wanted to kind of review it, but we have Dean's position actually expires here this year, June 30th. So we'll be filling that position after we approve his retirement from Taos Academy's governing council. But anyway, that's that one. And then Karen, we have treasurer, Laura vice president, Sam president, and Martin is member. Do we have that correct, or is there a different understanding for that?
Looks right to me.
Okay, cool. And then your subcommittees.
That's correct, I think.
Okay, at the bottom of that, you can see the changes. And I just want to tell you that I was not the one who developed this. This came from Simeon years ago when I had made a complete mess of it. And he is the one that thought that this would be the best way to keep track. So it's kept track by seat 1, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4, seat 5. You can see where they've been reappointed throughout the years. And and when, sometimes in June, sometimes in July, it just depends on. It's better to do it in June, but we have had to do it in July before. And this year we just have the one approval, not approval, we have the one change of seat 1 will be changing because it expires this month, at the end of the month. So I know Sam wanted to just kind of review that, and I'm not sure if there are questions. It makes sense to me, but it doesn't mean we have to keep it this way if it doesn't make sense to you guys. Dean, you were probably around when Simeon took my disaster and made sense of it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I can remember.
I think it's a great way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember a very long meeting where we were trying to make sense of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's a good way to do it with seats.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think the only thing in this, I don't know is if it's really that important. It's just that right now, because do we want to remove finance committee from seat 1? Because I'm now going to be I think, what seat am I? You see what I'm saying? How it's listed 3 times?
Yeah. I think it's good for the president to be on the finance committee.
I am the president, but I'm seat 4 now.
I know, and I understand what you're saying.
So we just won't, I mean, if we decide the new person is on the finance committee, I mean, I guess we wouldn't decide that the new finance person or the new person would be on the finance committee. We can't because it makes a quorum. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So
Yeah.
we would remove that. I could maybe, if we need them to be on a, and this is something we can talk about later. It's not super important, but just wanted to throw it out there. Like maybe I would move from audit and the person would be on audit or something like that.
That could work. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like I said, we don't have to solve it today, but just think about it. Any other thoughts on this? Okay, moving on. We now are going to, it is sub-item C, resignation of a GC member. And so we would move, if there is something we're going to move or take action on, we would move to accept it, not to approve it. Just whoever makes the motion.
Yeah.
Are we talking about Dean here?
I think so.
So Dean, are you the one that makes the motion?
I think it would be inappropriate for me to move that I resign.
I mean, will anyone reluctantly make it?
I'll reluctantly make the motion that Dean resigns immediately.
Well, bye.
Effective June 30th, right, Dean?
Yeah.
Effective
Yes.
June 30th.
Oh no, there's going to be a disaster happening the next few days. I'm sure. Just.
We'll have to have an
We're
emergency
gonna need a
meeting.
special meeting each week, Dean.
Yeah. Well, it's been 11 years, so it's time for me to go. So it's been good though. I've seen the school grow a lot. In fact, I think I've seen 3 buildings built since I've been here. So.
Well, I'll second Martin's motion.
Okay, roll call. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Sam,
Reluctant, yes.
Karen,
Yes.
motion carries.
Dean, thank you so much for your service to the Taos Academy Council. We really appreciate you. But we are happy that you get to spend more time in your garden.
Yes.
How do you know? You look at my nails and see how dirty they are?
No, I feel
My
like
bu-
every time I have to talk to you on the phone, you're either in your garden or you're about to go into your garden. So I want to pack.
So,
It-
if I could, Dean, if you could please just, send a letter.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
thank
Mr.
you.
Chartman.
Yes. Yes. Just really short with your effective date, Dean, just so when they do the resignation paperwork from the state, we have it on file.
Sure. No problem.
Thank you.
Can I send it by email?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And Mary, I think we're having an echo.
Yeah, I think the echo came on. I mean, there's two people who've not muted there as well, so that doesn't help. So I can turn it on and off, but when you're having a conversation like that, you're not going to hear each other because you're not waiting for the sound to be turned on and off. So I will mute this end now so the people online can be clear. But if you want a response from people in the room, you just need to give it a moment. Okay.
Right. So if I could, Dean, I know I've talked to a few board members, but not the entire team. And could we ask that you come as a guest in July? Will you be available?
Hold on. You need to repeat that.
Okay. I'll probably be available.
Okay, if you could put that on your calendar, I would appreciate that.
He said sure.
Awesome, okay.
Okay. I think, again, thank you, Dean, for all you've done for our board. And so we will move on to item G, public input. Are there any members of the public here who wish to speak? Seeing none, we will move to item I, financial reports, discussion, and possible action. Deanna, hello.
So Friday, you got your financials and bank statements. So everybody got those. In addition to regular work, the budget was due on May 29th. I also forwarded you a copy of the budget on May 29th. The board must approve this budget and submit signatures no later than June 20th. I'm going to ask for signature authority. Because I have a copy of all of your signatures. So everybody that votes yes, I would put your signatures on there. So I would ask that you make that available for me. It makes it much quicker than trying to do a DocuSign. And then on a better note, audit's already begun for fiscal year 25 because we don't have enough stuff to do right now. So we have stuff due on Friday. I already had stuff due in May. Did anybody have any questions for me?
I do not.
And then I'm not going to present any bars tonight. Well, I'll bring them back for ratification at our upcoming meeting.
The budget isn't an action item right now. It's just the signatures on the form. It's the approval.
Actually, the budget is going to be on approval and line item D. And if you guys can give me budget authority to use your signatures along with your motion in D, that would be great.
Yes, we can absolutely do that for you, Deanna.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, in the finance committee meeting, we went over a few items, on balance, cash balance in the bank and carryover, a little bit on the budget. And I will make a motion to approve the financials for April as presented.
Second.
Okay, roll call. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
So we don't have no bars. We've just had our finance committee. We did our business services update. So are we on to D now?
Yes.
Okay, the big stuff.
So I sent you all copies of the budget, revenues and expenditures, a copy of our 910B5, which is the funding formula for our operational budget for next year, a copy of the calendar that is proposed for next year, and the salary schedules for next year that meet all the requirements of legislation. Did anybody have questions? The things that come up during our finance committee meeting, we were talking about carryover for next year. It has gone down. Last year we carried over about 1.6. We're going to carry over approximately 900,000 this next year. As long as we're able to pay for some of the work that's being done on the campus completion by end of year, but that's what I'm expecting us to carry over, which is about where I want our carryovers to remain on a constant basis.
In the 900 range.
8 to 9, yes.
I have a question on the calendar. Towards the bottom where it has the gray area, it has instructional days 75, PD 7, and then total first semester 82. And then on the right, is that second semester, right?
Correct.
Oh, correct. Okay, I thought it was maybe middle school and on one side and high school on the other. I didn't know what was going on. Okay, thank you.
Calendar looks good to me.
And the salary schedules are very similar to last year, because we were already meeting what they proposed for this year. The only thing where we hadn't is minimum for a beginning teacher that did not have a bachelor's was about 51,000. We went ahead and moved it up to the 55 that's required.
And is this pretty on par with the district?
You know, I haven't
Are we
checked
competitive with the district?
calendar for last year. At one time, we were very, we were in a good place as far as being a place where people would want to work for us because of our salary schedule. But I did not check with them this year because we really couldn't afford to make our salary schedule better than what we have it at.
More of an anecdotal. I was just curious. This looks good to me.
Yeah, minimums are now 55,000 for a level 1, 65,000 for a level 2, and 75,000 for a level 3. So we're still higher than the average for most all of it. Just that level 1 that doesn't even have a BA, they're starting at the 55.
Gotcha.
So the level 1 that doesn't have a BA, is that somebody going for an alternative license?
Usually, pets allowed a lot more licensure ability so that they can fill teacher positions. So there's a lot more flexibility for people to get into the teaching career. They're usually enrolled in school, but haven't completed.
And I'm just curious, now that you have the 910B5, Deanna, a lot of the changes from House Bill 63, like, were we severely impacted, or did we kind of make out okay?
We're all right, but yeah, we were impacted for sure.
Okay.
All the schools were much more severely than what we thought was going to be the case. It was worse than what was projected.
It was worse for us than what was projected.
Than what was projected, yes. Almost all schools had that same thing happen.
That's what I've heard. I was hoping it just didn't maybe happen to us.
No, it did happen to us.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on the budget, calendar, or salary schedule? And if there are none, whoever makes the motion, just please make sure that it includes signatory authority for Deanna for the budget.
I move we approve the budget, and we also approve permission for Deanna to use our signatures on the form.
Second.
Okay. Roll call. Dean,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Sam.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And
Karen
then,
votes yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Karen.
and then we need a motion for the salary schedule.
Motion
Oh, I'm
to
sorry, for the
approve.
calendar. I'm sorry.
Wait,
calendar.
it's on there. It's there.
It's for budget, calendar, salary schedule, and approval for the yeah.
Signature
Oh.
authority.
And
You
Four
can do
items.
it in one motion. Is that what you intended, Dean?
Because I only heard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
only heard.
that's what.
okay, is it correct the way it is?
I think it's
All
fine the
four.
way it is.
Make a motion to approve all 4 items in ID as presented by Deanna.
Mhm.
Ashley,
So are
you
we,
could go ahead and take the roll call vote again, just to make sure that everybody's in agreement with that.
Okay, yeah. Roll call. Dean,
yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Sam,
Yes.
Karen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Okay, moving on to item J, operations and instructional reports, discussion, possible action. Looks like our director of programs report. And that is related to assessment and an IPP update.
Good evening. So I wanted to just spend just a brief amount of time. We mentioned how we were doing with our interim assessments. And since then, of course, we have finished them, and that was directly tied to our performance framework and our the IPP, which is the performance pay program. And for the 24-25 school year, we had 35 staff that would have qualified for differing levels of that. That's from $3,000 to $500 or none. And in all areas, I'm happy to report 100% of our staff did qualify. So that's based on the 3 different levels. Students at the first criteria was 95% of all students and their each teacher's cohort participate in our interim assessments at 95% or greater. which happened. So that makes them eligible to participate. Then, of course, we had our 3 areas of working to meet, which means that a student is showing growth or proficiency. And that was 26% to 50% of students showing that, substantial 51% to 75%, and exceptional of 76% or greater. So as a whole school, the category we achieved was exceptional in reading by achieving 82.81% of students either proficient or having met their growth goals. And substantial in math, 72.4% of all students either met their growth goals or were proficient. So celebrations there. So of the 35 staff, 30 qualified in the exceptional category, and that is the highest category. 6 of those 30 staff members, instructional staff, met exceptional growth or proficiency in both areas. And of the 35 staff, 5 qualified in just the substantial growth area, which means all staff qualified at the middle tier or higher by achieving at least 51% growth, which is our just our baseline minimum goal. So wanted to give a shout out to the hard work that, you know, from a year ago where we were to where we are now, and the buy-in. I'm going to put out myself out there and say that the development and the criteria for this was one achievable by all. Students had buy-in, staff had buy-in, and it went well. And I know you'll be voting on next year's budget. So just wanted to give a shout out. And that's it for me. Any questions?
That's great. You say it's better than last year. How much better?
Overall, so we came in back in January of 24, and we're talking about how it had seemed like we had flatlined or decreased, and there wasn't enough buy-in to using the assessments. Well, this year we started out really strong. One, of course, with they knew the IPP was in place, and staff, individual, and students, they had to share their goals with everybody. Students had to be, all stakeholders needed to be informed of where they were, where their student was, what growth needed to happen to achieve their goals. Just that bit of information and sharing the data and allowing students to take ownership, putting it out there, and them knowing where they needed to be and where they were performing, sharing that with parents. And of course, a lot of work went into there was professional development on how to use the data more effectively in the classroom, setting school-wide goals, and everybody had their own, not just in alignment. Students had their own personal goals that aligned with classroom goals. Classroom goals were aligned with the school goals, and of course, everybody kind of participated in that way. And so it was one of those movements of going forward, and of course, a lot of change in the staff and everybody just participating and buying.
So that's why it's better. About how much better is it than last year?
Oh, significantly. I mean, we hit in one area, the exceptional. That means that 82% of our students, I mean, 8 out of every 10 students were making adequate yearly growth or greater, or were proficient, and staying proficient.
What was that percentage last year? Do you know?
Last year, I don't know what the indicator was last year. It was not the same. We were kind of very flatline. Some areas, we didn't even look at it to compare classroom by classroom. We looked at it by grade level. And actually, one of the greatest things was that in reading, every grade level was in the high growth or proficient area, except for one, which was our 5th grade, which are our newest students. And we know that it takes about 2 years, you know, at least 2 consecutive semesters, but 2 years to start showing growth. And then I believe in math, everybody's seeing was high growth except for 5th and 7th grade. In 7th grade, there's a lot of changes and transitions of transitioning to, you know, fully engaged in algebra at 7th grade. So the biggest thing was teacher buy-in, and everybody, it's not a teach to the test. because MAPS is about measuring where a student currently is performing, where is their individual instructional level. It was about finding areas for students to grow and setting, it was about the goal setting and working towards achieving those goals. And once you achieve the goal, picking a new area of weakness and making that a strength. So there was just more focus on using the data in the classroom and with the students.
And I'm sure the expectations of the leadership makes a
100%.
difference too. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Any questions?
Great news, Jan.
Thanks. Yeah, in the virtual world, any questions? No?
None for me. Thank you, Jamie.
Mine's gonna be fast too. Basically, staffing, all our positions are fully staffed for next year, so we're really happy about that.
Is there any turnover or is it all coming back?
We have one person that did leave, but we are able to sort of pick up with all the staff that we have, be able to move some of those tasks around where it's split up by everybody. And I think it'll be a good combination for everybody to take those pieces and then meld them back together so we can continue on this path that we're going to go. I told Tracy I'm planning to be #1 in the state charters
Right.
or any schools. So we'll keep going that way as much
Yeah,
as we
well,
can.
I think you need to get a lot of credit for that
No,
because we've had a lot of turnover in the past, in particular the last 2 years before this, and that's bothered me some that we've had so much turnover and it seems like you've made a difference there. So
well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's really nice to work with the staff and, even the students, just building rapport with them makes a huge difference, believe it or not.
sure,
Students can really make you or break you. So
sure.
yeah, I always want to, have that rapport so they can move forward with you. We're with you. So that's really awesome. Summer school began on May 27th, and the last day of summer school, or what we call the third trimester, because it's really an extension of our year. Really don't call it summer school anymore, but that's kind of how people kind of understand it. So will be on June 26th. That's what they will take their finals. So
that's just people that didn't finish their work during the regular school year and they're finishing up.
they're either credit recovery or they're moving ahead, trying to work ahead. We have some kids that are doing the Rosetta Stone, trying to finish that because that's an easier piece to kind of just maneuver. And we also have some of those students that we've identified as either maybe they didn't grow or are not completely proficient or didn't their target grow. And so we're trying to get them ahead of the game by having them come in and do my path. I do think that since this is the first time I've kind of seen summer school work here, kind of strategizing what we can do for next year as well, to make it more conducive to students or, really get parents to see the value behind it, so their students aren't behind when they come in. Because graduation requirements are changing all the time and, COVID's over. And so now we're really moving forward and having those expectations. We want to make sure that we can put that group of students that are proficient out in the community, whatever they desire to do. I stand for any questions.
And you're sitting.
Yeah, I can stand.
No questions from me. Tracy, I think you're up with a facilities report or a facilities update.
Yes, that would be IC. And just quickly, CID permit has been issued. Continued work on the wellness building. Should have begun today. So we're back on track with the wellness building. That's good. Paving our two new parking lots started on Saturday. I believe they are finishing up in the next 2 days. The amphitheater canopy should be starting this week as well. The landscaping is continued in the back of the building. Our door fobs should be completed this week if they weren't today. Our teachers' offices are all now completed with doors and plexiglass, so they have more privacy. And the carpet was replaced in the STEM has been completed. We're getting really close to being done. That's what
Yay.
that all means. Yeah. It's exciting.
Well, thank you, Tracy. It's very exciting that it's moving along. It looks like we are, any other questions for Tracy on our facilities journey? No, okay. Well, we will move to sub-item D of J, and that is our monthly GC calendar discussion. Karen, hi.
Hi. So now that I have the new calendar, I will make a new calendar for fiscal year 26. We have to probably get together with Tracy to ask a few questions, but I'll work on that with her. And we'll present it next month for everybody.
Thank you so much for doing that, Karen.
Sure thing.
Okay. Any questions on the calendar? It is in process. Okay, we will move to a whole bunch of policies that are up for action. And it looks like it says policy changes, but it looks like there's also applications and then maybe some contracts as well.
That's right. Yeah, and they're all in your drive. And I think the only one, Jamie, if you could bring up on your screen maybe the IPP, the leave policy, graduation, no, anti-distraction, and the regalia policy. Just get it ready, and I'll start kind of talking, and we'll have I'll watch for Jamie what she brings up. Okay. So the first one there is Idea B application. Our Idea B this year is $84,112. That goes completely to our special ed coordinator, her salary. Not much to say than that. I noticed I didn't see Kelly today, but Kelly so Kelly has her full report for the new policies. That's not going to be something that we take action on today. I just wanted to let you know that she has reviewed all of our policies and has made some recommendations. So we'll work on that as we move into policy time, which will be in July.
Excellent.
So you won't take action on that one yet. The Matthews Fox, which is our charter law office, it's called now. Their new contract just needs to be approved, and it's in your drive, her contract, which is a professional services agreement, by the way. Let's see. All right,
Tracy,
Jamie,
do we
which
want
one?
to? Oh, sorry.
What?
I was just going to say, do we want to pause and approve? Do we want to approve as we move along, or do we want to go through everything and then approve all of them one by one?
That's totally up to you. In the past, we've done a big push. Just I explained them all and we approve them. But if you want to go through one by one, that's fine too. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, as long as that push identifies all the different things, just so it works, then that's fine with me.
Okay. All right, so moving on, Jamie, which one do you want to do next? Okay, regalia, she's got it up there. Basically, this is Sam, you actually brought this to me, so this one is just about cultural attire.
Just a one quick edit. Now that you're in there, can we change? I see PCA. Can that say Taos Academy? Last line.
Yeah, these will go. Go. Oh, whoever has. Great, perfect. Yes.
Thank you.
And they will get numbers. They have to be put into our larger bank. So, but we're going to switch to Kelly's, and so I didn't want to do much because I don't know where it goes in her stuff. So we just need to approve the policy, and then I'll move forward with the whole bank of policies. All right, so that's the regalia. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, anti-distraction policy. This is that cell phone policy that we've been kind of talking about. But the staff has voted to do a full no cell phones from 8 to 4. So we will be moving forward with that policy. It has, let's see, you guys have it up there. It includes not just cell phones, but watches and pagers and radios and so forth. You can read that there. All electronic devices. Cell phones won't be permitted during the school day between 8 and 4. However, we will encourage people not to bring them to school, but if they need them there for after school events or whatever the case may be, they will be locked in a lockbox and secured for the day. Let's see. There are in our policy handbook, it will follow our protocols that we already have, which is first offense. The parent must recover the electronic device from the dean of students at the end of the school day. The second offense will become a behavioral referral, and that will be issued by the principal, and parents will be involved with a discussion with the principal. Third offense, the electronic device will be confiscated for the year. If a student continues to have issues, if they have extra phones or that they bring to school or extra devices that we continue to follow, then that chronic disruptive behavior will take effect, which goes into suspensions. That's already on there on the policy. If electronic devices are not recovered at the end of the year, they will be disposed of. All right. That is our anti-distraction policy. It follows a new state law that we already had. We had one for cell phone use. It wasn't very successful, and our teachers actually were the ones who said, we just don't want them on campus. They don't want to be policing it. They don't want the argument. They don't want the constant distraction of having to walk around and pull 2 or 3 phones out of people's backpacks and so forth. So they were the ones that actually decided on this policy 8 to 4. Yeah. Any questions? I have heard that people who have put this 8 to 4 or whatever, 8 to 3, 250 when most schools get out. What ends up happening is kids stop bringing them to school. which I thought that was interesting. Like they leave them in their cars, and they just don't even bring them. Which, you know, I hope that happens for us. I hope that's where we get to. So
Wasn't it before, like, the biggest issues in the other schools were the parents that were upset, not so much the kids?
yes, that's correct. Yeah. So we have the leadership team has started drafting you know, how we move forward with communication, and have kind of a town council meeting at the school a couple of times with teachers, because their voice was very strong. Like they were there wasn't any, like, leadership team was kind of taken back that they had such conviction about not having the phones. So, and you know, we have people that answer our phones. You can call the school and get to your child. So the safety piece, you know, students aren't supposed to be using their phones during safety emergencies anyway. It clogs up the systems and so forth. So there will be lots of communication with parents and our community to implement this program. Again, you know, it's coming, and I know that you know, there are lots of schools that are going to the 8 to 4. They're just not going to deal with it, and so you know, it's a learned behavior that just has to be shifted for parents, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, we support you in this transition to no cell phones.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Alrighty. Jamie, which one do you have? Oh yeah, the leave policy is the next one. Leave policy. So the staff had asked, wait a minute, I gotta find it. Nope. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so staff had asked for a couple more days of leave. The leadership team reviewed this over the winter time. There was some data brought forth. So the leadership team agreed to give 2 more days. So what you're seeing there is wellness leave. This is our leave policy and procedures. It goes on contracts. So teachers teachers will well, actually all staff will be given 2, where you see in the red there, sick leave days. They are not part of wellness leave, so they already have wellness leave, and they will receive 2 more days of sick leave that can only be used for the employee for illness, not for going to Hawaii or going, you know, to take a wellness day to hike the peak or anything, or go skiing in the new powder, which they do. These are specific to sick leave. So you can see all employees will receive 2 sick leave days per year to be used only by the employee. Sick leave will be provided at the beginning of the contract, which is different than wellness leave. Wellness leave is accrued over time, a half a day every paycheck, I believe, and must be used prior to the last day of the contract, so it doesn't roll over. The sick leave is sick leave. It must be used during the school year on their contracted time. The sick leave days will not accumulate year after year, year to year. Wellness leave does accrue up to 32 days. Sick leave will not accrue. All right, any questions about that one? No? Okey-dokey.
Does everybody seem fine with it?
Yeah, I have a question. What if they get really sick, you know, and they have to be out for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something? You know, what
Sure,
happens?
Well, so they can use wellness leave. It's not that wellness leave can be used for sickness. It's just that sick leave can't be used for wellness.
Right. So how many days can they have in a year if they haven't accumulated a whole bunch of wellness?
There are 8 days now of wellness and sick leave.
Okay.
And 10 days for your year-round employees.
Okay, and what if they are sick, something contagious, you don't want them at school, and more than those days, what happens then?
Well, hopefully they have not used all of their leave to go to Hawaii and they use it for illness.
Right, but what I'm saying is, do you just terminate them because they're sick?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I misunderstood what you were saying. No, they can take leave without pay if they need to. We have a sick bank for very ill, people who may need to be out for long periods of time.
Okay, great. That's what I was worried about.
There's also, we follow the FMLA. We have FMLA. It's in there. It's in the policy.
Okay,
So yeah,
good.
no, there are lots of other things. This is just the 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see, Jamie, where are we? Regalia, leave policy, anti-distraction. Oh, the IPP. Thank you. So we would like to ask that you approve another year of the IPP. Let's see. Let's see. I think that for the most part, it is the same. Jamie, if you can pipe in, it's not coming up for me on my computer, so I have to look at yours. We changed something. I think we changed one of the cohorts. For the most part, you guys, this comes directly from our performance framework until you get down to, so it's exactly the same. So it's exactly the same as last year. Where Jamie and I looked at was, I believe, down in the cohorts. Yeah. Like how different cohorts of groups.
We corrected the incentive for EAs, the category for special ed versus whole school. So if we have a special education educational assistant that works only with special ed, they would qualify under whole school special ed only, not under whole school because they don't work under the whole with regular ed. That was one change that we had, and actually that was the only change we had because we have another position that they don't qualify in math and reading because their focus area is only math. So they only work with students on mathematics, not on reading and not writing papers or anything. So that we did not change the tips, that one. And everywhere else, those were the only changes. There was no changes to the amounts. There was no changes to other than that classification of cohort for educational assistants. Everyone else is in the same categories they were prior to. And what did we figure out, Deanna? This costs about $96,000 in the event that everybody got the highest tier.
I haven't done the final, but that's probably going to be about where it ends up.
Yeah, that's about what we budgeted last year. Was close to 100,000. that's if everybody gets the top tier. They don't. So, you know, give or take, it's about close to $100,000 for everybody. Little less than that, but. Any questions about that?
I'm trying to think, did we have like, there was like a retention bonus or something in place? Was that for last year or the year before?
Yeah, we did retention for a couple of years. We've always had something in from back when PED did all of the incentive pay. We kept that every year, and most, the years after during COVID and after COVID, it was thank you for staying. Like it was such a hard time. But we went back last year to that performance, but tying it back to student growth and proficiency in academics, not just, yeah.
So I guess what I'm getting to is we didn't have the retention bonus for the end of last year, but yet we had such an amazing percentage of retention.
Yeah, my comment on that is exactly what you guys said, which is that Dr. Labella has done an absolutely fantastic job increasing the bar for teachers, not just for professional development, but just celebrating their own profession and celebrating accomplishment and academic rise, if you may. She's on that page, and so teachers feel good about their job. They feel like I'm making a difference, and that's what teachers want. They want the bar to be brought up so that they can make a difference for their kids, and Dr. LaBella has brought that to the school for sure. Yep. And I also want to congratulate Jamie. I think I already did, but anyway, I'll do it again. And that is that, Jamie had tried for quite a few years to do it from a, look at what you can learn, look at what these kids can learn, look at what you can do with data. And it wasn't until this year where May and Jamie together as a team put forth this, we're doing this, we're moving forward. And I congratulate both of them. They were instrumental in the change in our school this year. Absolutely. 100%, 120%. Jamie, I had on here graduation requirements, but I don't think we're ready for that.
We are not. It's on our strategic planning agenda for Friday.
Okay.
To continue. So yes, there's some changes, but that will probably come up in July.
Okay, so let's table. I can't write. It's thrown me off, but anyway, if somebody could write table, the graduation requirements will table. And the Kelly GC report from Kelly, we will table those two things until next week. So we need a motion for Idea B, Charter Law Office, PP, the leave policy, anti-distraction policy, and the cultural regalia policy. There are 6.
All as one, correct, Tracy?
Yeah, I'm watching you. Hang on.
Okay, perfect. Let me just go through. It's kind of small on my end. Hold on.
Okay.
So policy changes for, we're gonna do with IDFB, right?
Yeah, here, I'm gonna help you out just a second. Hold on, you guys. Hold on just a second. I'm helping with the notes here so she can. Almost there. Don't throw me out. Okay.
Okay.
So now see, Ashley, you can see where now you can see it better.
Yes, I can see what you were shooting for. I got it.
Yeah, okay. Awesome.
Well, do you want me to motion?
Think we're ready.
Okay, I motion to approve the school year 25-26 Idea B application, professional service agreement with Charter Law Office, the IPP, our leave policy, our anti-distraction policy, and our cultural expression regalia policy. Do I have a second?
Second.
I got, oh, was that Martin?
No, it was Laura.
Laura.
Woohoo! I got in there.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I got them all.
Okay, roll call. Dean.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes, sorry.
Karen?
Yes.
Sam?
Yeah.
Motion carries.
Wow, we made it. We did it. Okay, we are on to our next agenda item, which is sub item F, which is an executive session pursuant to section 10-15-1, subsection H2, for limited personnel matters. And so I'd like,
Sam, it can be tabled if you want. It has been settled, but it's been totally up to you if you want to just review it. That's fine.
I'm happy to table.
Well, it wouldn't be tabled. Actually, it'll just be canceled. We don't need it. But we put it on there just in case we needed it. We don't need it.
Okay.
Great.
No session required. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. Item G, next board meeting agenda.
Okay, July.
July.
Yes.
And so Tracy and I have been meeting to, talk about the agenda, and if there's anything specific we should know, please tell us.
Policies. Kelly's policies for sure. I want to get that. That's going to be a big one, so we want to spend some time on that.
Is that the 14th?
Oh boy.
The second
I think
Monday.
the second Monday, I think, is the 14th. Okay.
I think we'll also want to vote on a new member too, so that will need to be added.
Mm-hmm. Can somebody look on the calendar for this year and make sure that it's the 14th?
On our annual calendar?
No, just on the school's calendar that we submitted to PED.
It is July 14th.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, we might have the graduation requirements ready. The new ones.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you can. Well, that's good for now. There might be stuff that comes up and we'll talk about it, Sam. I can't think of anything right now.
No, me either. Thanks. We'll have a meeting. We'll definitely have a meeting.
Yeah. Oh, the board's new calendar. So Karen will have the new calendar for the year. So I'll meet with her. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other comments on the upcoming agenda? It'll be a packed one. so be ready.
I will be out of the country on the 14th.
Ooh, I hope you're going somewhere cool.
Cancun.
Ooh, that is cool.
So I will just send my board reports and the ratification of bars for you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I will call this meeting adjourned.
My last meeting, so I move we adjourn.
You do that. You do it. Just make sure you call the time.
What time is it?
6:45.
6:45.
Good job, everybody. That was a full agenda.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's
thanks
fast.
for all. Bye, Dean.
Thank
Bye.
you. Toodaloo.
Thank you. Good night.